Hello, this is Robert at English 360. Welcome to our stream, and this is all about speaking at an advanced level. So if you're doing a high-level exam such as a CPE or an IELTS exam or CAE or any other exam, TOEFL for that matter, or you just want to become good at speaking English, then this is your stream, because I will cover 2-3 different types of questions, not types of questions, 2-3 different questions, where I will show you how you can answer the questions in different ways. Today we're interested in how you can start an answer, not so much what you can say afterwards, but how you can start an answer which is a bit more diplomatic and allows you to speak at length. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the questions so we don't waste any more time. If I can find the stream, there we go. So the first question is, why do some people prefer not to be part of a team? So that might be a question the examiner asks you, or that might be a question that you have to answer in a job interview. For example, if you go for a job where English is required and they ask you some questions in English, then you will have to answer those questions, because there will be a psychologist perhaps who will be listening to you and the kind of answers you give, and so it's important to know how to answer those questions. So I'm just going to write down a few sentences which you might be able to use in this case. So you can start by saying, for example, it's interesting that some people are not very fond of working with others. So the expression here you can use is, it's interesting that. This is the important part. So the question is, why do some people prefer not to be part of a team? You're not answering the question yet, but you are commenting on the question and on the situation. So what you will be saying, it's interesting that some people are not very fond of working with others. Then you can say, some believe that it might be due to character or personality of a person, of the person involved. Again, you're only just beginning to answer the question. You haven't said anything big. But often you don't actually need to you don't need to give very big answers. You just need to sound a bit more fluent and convincing, and you need to make the right noises. So this is the second bit you can use here. Some believe that it might be due to the character or personality of the person involved. Then you can talk about what you think. You can say, as far as I'm concerned. I can't type with the microphone in front of me. It's really difficult. As far as I'm concerned, and then you can say whatever you think. It's a matter of personal debate, or it's a matter of personal choice. So this is another expression you can use. You can also say, it can't be denied that teamwork is supersedes. Oops, what did I get wrong there? Supersedes. Why is it wrong? Was it supersedes what an individual can attain on his own. So here you would be saying it can't be denied, means it is true. It can't be denied, therefore. If you can't deny it, it's true. If it's true, then it's worth mentioning. And that's the next expression. It's worth mentioning that many people are able to do extremely difficult. Let's change this word. Let me tell you what I was going to write. Task. So let's change that to carry out. Extremely difficult tasks. Much better if they have a crack at it alone than in company. That's another beginning you can use. So if you can use any of these, what it means that your answer or your reply to a question which is quite open will not be very confrontational, will not be, it's because you're not giving the answer straight away, but you're discussing it. And there is value in discussion, and there is value in talking like this, because it expands on the topic. It talks about it from different angles, and you're able to sound more convincing, and that's what you want to do in the end. Sound more convincing, because that gets you higher marks. Let's go to the next question. I might have used all the expressions in the first question, as a matter of fact. Let me just, I'll leave this file in the description so you can download it afterwards. Please hit the like button if you like this video, and if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to our channel. Turn on the notifications, because when we stream, often we stream from day to day. So if I get a request from a student saying, can you mark my essay? Can you do this? Can you talk about this other thing? I'll go live, but I won't have much time to publish the stream beforehand. So what I will probably do is just go live very quickly. So if your notification button is on, and if you're interested, then you'll be able to see this. And let me just turn up the volume, maybe. Is this might be better, actually. Let me know in the comments section if you can hear me properly, because sometimes audio can be a problem. If you can hear me properly, just say, yes, Robert, we can hear you properly. It's not a problem. Or, no, we can't hear you properly because you're too low. In that case, I'll pump the volume up a little bit more. Okay, so let's move on. Some types of activity lend themselves more to cooperation than others. Why? You can say there are, just simple answer here, there are a few, and here you don't want to be using activities because it's in the question, so you just leave it blank. Just don't write anything. I'll just write down like that. And no words required. There are a few which ought to be done on Thanks, Alessandra, as always, for your comment. I will drop in. Right, which ought to be done alone. And then you would probably need an example here, such as, I reckon, I don't think there are many activities which should be done alone, but you know, painting. Oops. Or even writing novels. There is some benefit. I was looking for another word, I couldn't find it. I'll use this one. There's benefit. However, and this is important, because when you're talking about something and you have a very good idea, but then you have a contrasting idea, then what you can do is use however in the middle of the sentence and not at the beginning, because it sounds a bit more posh, a bit cooler. There is some benefit, however, in working. I don't want to use the working together. Yeah, it's not in the question, so I can use that. Working together, because it will or might lead to a more fruitful result. So in this part of the text, you're working on elision, which is always, I always insist on that. If you can leave out a word, you should, because it shows more control on your language. It shows that you can choose when to leave the words out and do it correctly, rather than saying the words all the time and fall into the trap of repetition. You don't want to be repeating, because it sounds horrible. I'm sure it sounds horrible in any language, so in English it sounds horrible. And if you don't know, there's the thing, if you don't know the answer to this question, or if you don't know the answer to any question, you will say something like, I'm afraid, I'm afraid I'm not entirely sure about this question. I do, and this do has to be emphasized. I'll put it in bold and everything else. Let me take that off. That always happens to me. Do one thing and that. I do believe that there is value in working on projects together. Now, you don't know the answer to this question, okay? Throw in your own life. What do you do in life? What do you ever do in life? I'm sure you do plenty of things. So, do you go to school? Do you work on projects together? Talk about that. Are you at work? Are you at university and you're working perhaps on some kind of thesis together with other people? Talk about that. You can say based on my personal experience, I can say that I managed to carry out a very difficult task when I had help from others. Okay, so that's that question. Okay, so if you don't know, you can say, I'm afraid I'm not entirely sure. Okay. So last question of the day is it important to encourage children to work with each other? I think the answer would be yes, wouldn't it? So the expression you can use in some of these questions is, of course it is. I know it's a simple one, but people don't often use it. Of course it is. Or it has got to be. It must always. It is important. It must always. No, hang on. They must always be encouraged. So this is something you can use. It has got to be something like this. There's another one coming up. Absolutely. This is like 100%. And the last expression of the day is 100%. Sorry if you can hear other people talk, but we are in a school and people do talk in a school, and that's, you can say 100%, just that. It means you're absolutely sure. So these are some of the expressions you can use, and do try to practice perhaps with one of them in the beginning and then add the other one and then add the third one and so on and so forth. So advanced level English starts with what you say in the first sentence. If you start very confidently, then automatically you'll be able to call on new vocabulary, old vocabulary, and sound better. If you start very hesitant, you're like, don't know, and you're repeating the question, then you're gonna feel, you're going to feel, bad, and you're not going to do very well in the exam. Okay, so in my opinion, practicing makes perfect, which is also a motto. So think about how you can practice these and let me know in the comment section if you liked today's video, today's stream. It was a short one, but nonetheless very important. Have a great day, enjoy your time, and have a great evening. Bye for now. Peace.